Hello and welcome to the highlights of the first stage of the 2025 Giro D'Italia Women, the longest running Grand Tour for the women's professional peloton in its 36th edition this year. Ready to get underway in the Lombardy region of Italy in the city of Bergamo. Earlier today we had the riders getting ready for the 14.2 kilometre time trial, the now sort of traditional opening stage for the Giro D'Italia women, often opening with a time trial stage. Lotte Kopecky, the European time trial champion, was here ready to check out the course along with her SD Works teammates. The route starting in the centre of Bergamo, heading out on a largely flat straight road, making a U-turn at the far point of the course, heading back in towards town, largely untechnical. Time check at 8.75 kilometres, then a fairly technical run into the finish with a number of corners in the final 2 kilometres before the finish again in the centre of Bergamo. Barely any climbing out on the course today, just one time check, and it was Olympic silver medalist Anna Henderson riding for Little Trek, who was one of the quite early starters in this year's race, setting a very strong early benchmark. The intermediate time check came at 8.75 kilometres in, and she was leading at that point. No great surprise for the Olympic medalist from the Paris Games. Coming up to the line for the Olympic medalist, and she was the new leader, very early leader, averaging 47.8 kilometres, and she would remain in that hot seat for a long time. Linke Nguyen, the 23-year-old Dutch rider from Team Visma Lisa Bike, put in a very strong ride and was close to Henderson at the intermediate time check, not quite beating her time, but a very strong second half of the race to beat Henderson there, taking the top spot, knocking Henderson out of that hot seat. A lot of excitement around Anna van der Breggen of Team SD Works Pro Time, a previous 4-time winner of the Giro D'Italia in her career. Before then retiring, making a comeback this year in 2025, she caught the rider a minute ahead of her and did take the lead in the time trial, ahead of Nguyen, the new leader, before Marlen Reusser got underway. The new Swiss national time trial champion riding for Movistar was a big favourite for this year's race, and she did not disappoint. She'd clearly done her homework, taking the lead at the intermediate time check. In that very technical running, we were seeing that she was more than 20 seconds up on the time of Anna van der Breggen, and coming into the finish, sure enough, she was able to maintain that time gap. The clock was in the green, powering all the way to the line, and a huge gap there, 20 seconds from Marlen Reusser to van der Breggen. Still some very big name riders to come though, and very soon Lotte Kopecky, the European time trial champion, got underway herself. She was just 1 second down on Elisa Longa-Borghini this time last year going into the final stage. We saw the time out on the course very close to that of her teammate of van der Breggen, and she was just ahead of her teammate at a number of points. Coming into that final kilometre, she was down on the time of Marlen Reusser, ahead of her teammate, but Lotte Kopecky was not going to take the win today, finishing 12 seconds down on Marlen Reusser. The final rider to take to the start was defending champion Italian rider Elisa Longa-Borghini, riding for a new team this year, UAE Team ADQ. We were seeing multiple time checks out on the course where she was just down on Marlen Reusser. Reusser was in the hot seat, the clock went red, there was no doubt the victory would go to Reusser, but how much time was Longa-Borghini going to lose? In the end it was 16 seconds on the line that she was down on Reusser. Third place for Longa-Borghini, and a victory for Swiss champion Marlen Reusser, who is now a big favourite for the overall general classification in this year's race. Marlen Reusser took the win by 12 seconds from European champion Lotte Kopecky. Longa-Borghini, last year's winner, in third, 16 seconds down. Van der Breggen, 20 seconds back. 4 big names right at the top of the standings after the first stage of this year's Giro D'Italia women. We'll smile some Marlen Reusser on the podium as a stage winner. Also the pink jersey coming her way. Early leader Anna Henderson ended up in 6th place overall. The top 10 rounded out by Shirin van Anrooy, 41 seconds down on Marlen Reusser. Multiple trips to the podium for Marlen Reusser, collecting the prize for the stage win, the watch, the pink jersey and the red jersey, the points jersey as well. can now look ahead to tomorrow's stage, starting in Clusoni. Slightly downhill start, relatively flat in the middle, a couple of little kicks, and then a very gradual climb all the way up to the finish. There is an intermediate sprint to come, so all important points for the red jersey competition. We then climb up to a third category climb to our finish in Aprica. 3.5% is the average of that final climb. It is wide open for a very exciting second stage to come tomorrow.